Good morning, people. I have a slight incentive to make this video a little bit more concise than usual, a little bit more to the point, a little bit more fluid, because I have only 20% battery, and I was feeling a creative impulse, and I wanted to run with it. So here it is. Here is the impulse that I have run with today. My low power mode thing just came up, so that is a subtle reminder to get the fuck on with it. And that's like a metaphor for life. Damn, time is running out. Like, time is always running out. And as much as it would be great to fantasize about everything and do everything, that's not possible. We have to kind of sometimes pick up the pace, not in a rushed way, but in a way that you have to become sensitive to the ether. I'm going to call it the ether, and for me the ether is like a mixture of the outside world and the inside world. My ether is kind of like drawing on both of these worlds simultaneously and striking while the iron is hot. It's kind of like playing a violin. There's got to be a certain amount of tension while you're playing it. There's got to be a bit of a dance going on. It's not you're not a robot, in simple terms. We're all kind of dancers, and we're also very we have to be observant as dancers. We have to be in tune with what is going on, with our audience, with ourselves. You know, when you go to the theater, it's not just like it's raining. It's fucking raining right now, and that's not ideal for making a video because I have equipment that is not rainproof. But we dance with the idea. There's woods up there. I don't know how much coverage from the rain the woods are going to give me. And I don't know if it's going to continue to rain either. So we could take a punt and go to the woods and see what that brings. Or we could call it a day and turn back now. Choices. I'm always faced with choices. Choices for what do I express, what do I not express. What do I run with, what do I not run with? Because in the mind you are constantly confronted by dramas, narratives, stories, ideas, words, music, all these things, and a combination of these things, having feelings and ideas and thoughts and words, having all of these things as like a single act is easy to latch onto. It's really easy to like see or to try and preempt everything, like be in anticipation of everything, because you think it's like, somehow forced, like you've got to like squeeze life out of itself. But that is not at all the case. In reality, it's all just happening. It's just this tension. It's just a bow on the string all the time. All different types of feelings coming up. It's like there's always a relationship going on. There's literally relationships everywhere. And that is what creates the drama, really. It's the relationship between everything is what creates the happening. If there wasn't a dynamic between things, there wouldn't be any kind of happening. Let's take it on a cell level. You need protons, neutrons, and electrons for a cell to function, or an atom. I don't know about the technical details of all this. I'm just trying to effectively put into words what cannot be put into words, and that is just the thisness, the very present moment that you are experiencing, the very things that you are feeling, the very sensations that go along with every moment in life. You know, you can feel your body in every moment. You can, if you pay attention, you can feel the very subtle dances of reality. You can feel what's really going on a sort of microscopic level, with like a narrow, a slightly more, it's almost like going through life. You build a kind of toolkit for yourself of lenses, not lenses in a restricting sense, but lenses in a sense that you're developing awarenesses of objects of reality that are not immediately obvious, that are subtle and are skillful and ultimately artistic in their nature. I think a lot of the things that we get the most joy out of in life is what is subtle and skillful and artistic. I've never derived pleasure from doing things in a contrived way. That's not for me. It's raining, so, and my phone's on 20%. So we'll see how far this goes, but I'm letting you know that this video will probably cut out at some point while I'm recording. Now this may not be one of the most entertaining videos you'll ever watch, but it is a, oh my god, I keep stepping on sharp things. It's this time of the year where you get sharp things on the ground. What's going on here is the dynamic, the dance of me as a thing happening in this continuum of happenings. And I think that's a special thing in itself. Hiya. The series of happenings or not happenings really is special. It really is important to witness what is happening and appreciate what isn't happening sometimes, because what is happening is beautiful. What isn't happening is beautiful. There could be no happening without not happening, you know. I can't deliver these words without there being some time to breathe in between. I've got to come back to myself. I've got to have a reference point. And that reference point for me is the very dynamic, the very drama that seems to be kind of self-generating. It's like as I go through life, my mind is is kind of like wanting to jump on all these trains, like in the sense of an idea or a feeling, and then start fleshing it out with the juicy details, which is a beautiful skill. That's really my inner artist wanting to be seen. It's something that is real within me that wants to find a way to be understood on some level. And the only way it knows how is by looking closely at itself, paying attention to the subtle harmonies, the subtle tones, the subtle vibrations, and seeing where it takes you, seeing where one vibration ricochets off to another. See what thoughts and feelings arise in your mind when you're just doing regular human activities, when you're reading, when you are watching a video, paying attention to what is going on in your world is of equal importance. Without that, there is no relationship. It becomes one-sided. And it's very easy for someone like me to end up being in that sort of one-sidedness, because I'm so curious, so open, and I love theatre so much that I'm kind of like hungry. I'm hungry to create and to witness creation. That is my deepest hunger. And if I'm not getting enough of it, you know, from both sides, if I'm not consuming great art as well as creating whatever I create, then I start feeling unbalanced. I cease to feel well-rounded, like a fully faceted human being. But when I pay attention, when I'm not only passively consuming art, but actively consuming art, and not passively, you know, expressing myself, but actively expressing myself. And that means while I'm creating my own art, I am observing what is going on in my inner world at the same time. Because as much as I love talking, as much as I love creating vibrations in themselves, my vibrations are really of not much value if it's not a true reflection of what is going on inside, because neither does that help me nor help anyone else necessarily, because how can you relate to words that aren't really reflective of what I am truly going through? You know, I can disguise. I'm very good at disguising with my words, disguising what I'm actually feeling with words. And I wish that wasn't the case. My focus is just locked. And I don't know what to do about that, but we will not worry about that for now. We can leave that frustration for when I have fully explored this video, because I think it's locked on my face anyway. So all well and good. Yeah, so my thinking is that it's more valuable to you and to me if I am more expressing the actual dance of my mind, you know, rather than trying to express something on a one-sided level where I'm kind of drawing from my past experiences, which is good. I think it's of great importance that I derive my source material from what is happening right now in my mind, around me, because ultimately I can only create art in this moment. And the past experiences I have had do not really apply to current experience, because current experience is like a new game. It's like a new level. It's like you are a collection of all the experiences that you've ever had, and then life presents you a new level that yet again forces you to come out of your narrow perceptions. And this is a very, very useful exercise, because we are great at adapting. We're great at finding comfort. And often I found comfort in my own reality by narrowing my perceptions, by kind of minimizing my worldview. But it's as comforting as it is, it's not very interesting. It doesn't leave much room for exploration. It doesn't leave space. And if we don't have any space, then we can't feel what's going on. We can't really experience this moment. I keep hearing like footsteps, and this is like creeping me out. Oh my God. I just find myself living in like a novel sometimes. I'm like kind of witnessing all these dramas. Like my own fear of being alone, and the dark and the cold, and all these things that are quite challenging. But it gives me this wonderful reservoir of material to draw from in my own creative pursuits. And one of my creative pursuits is really making these videos themselves, because for me it is exploring kind of the direct relationship that I have with myself, and with the world as well, because I'm addressing the world. You know, anyone is welcome to watch these videos, but I'm also addressing the dance of emotions and characters and feelings, sensations that are all going on in my very existence. Because there's a lot. If you can't tell, I am quite sensitive. Not in a way that I take things badly. Actually, it's usually works the other way around, because I'm so sensitive, because I feel things to quite a degree. It actually gives me a lot of capacity for what other people are feeling, because I've sort of learnt to become my own friend, I guess. I've like kind of learnt how to feel myself properly, how to really be a better caretaker of this body and mind, because I don't know what's going on, or how anything works. I don't know much other than I enjoy doing what I do. and certain things I don't enjoy so much, but I still take value from what I don't necessarily enjoy. And being the sensitive person that I am, I don't necessarily enjoy being in the company of many people who don't feel the same sensitivity. Because it's quite, it's very challenging, because you feel all these things and you see what's kind of going on that other people are somewhat oblivious to, and you can't really express it because, well, what would that do? It's a difficult one because I don't know myself, but I feel like I have to hold back a lot of the time because I do pay a lot of attention, and sometimes I sort of see things in a way that is quite unsettling. And but I'm caught up in this dynamic, and I kind of have to continue to play my assigned role, and see how it plays out, which is kind of why I do love spontaneity and the unfolding of things, because it keeps me going. It is where a lot of my satisfaction in life comes from. The very unfolding itself, and the dramas that go with that. And it goes quite deep. It goes much deeper than what you can comprehend. Or maybe I'm just dipping my toes into something that many others have gone much, much deeper into, which is more likely the truth. But I would like to explore this relationship further. I would like to become more aware of the dynamic that plays out in my mind all the time. In every moment there is always some kind of dynamic. It's like it's a non-verbal communication. It's a total intuition, and it's not a thought process. It's like a train in a way. It's like jumping on a train that you don't have time to think about it. When you act, and you can't take back an action, nor do you have time to really think about your actions too much, because we live as a full-time job. We don't get to go behind scenes and practice for the show. We don't get to rehearse our lines. We're constantly forced to really act right now, which I think is vital. It's of the utmost importance to create art that we act right now. Strike while the iron is hot. If you feel it, you gotta do something. If you don't feel it, you've got to also listen to that. Otherwise it can turn into like some kind of self-torture. Doing something because you think that you're doing something. When you do something brand new, when you do something from a position of total spontaneity, there isn't a thought process behind it. There isn't a plan or a meaning or a title or any box you can put that thing in. It's gotta come from a true place for it to be something that will resonate with other humans. If what you do doesn't come from a true place, it will resonate with other people who don't express themselves from a true place. And there are many, many of them. But ultimately, it's probably more important to connect with the fewer population of people who do take into account the subtle dynamics. Because there's just, like attracts like. If you lead a fake life, i.e. not working in harmony with who you truly are, then you will be surrounded by other people who are not in harmony with who they truly are. And it's possible to feel like everything is fine, like your life is running really smoothly, like you couldn't want for anything more, but something just feels off. Something just feels off. And there are really one of two paths in this reality, in some respects. And there's the one path of, following, getting on a train and never getting off that train. Or getting on this train, then getting on that train, then getting on, any train that's running, and running with it. Or there's another way, the other path, which you could call the red pill. There are all these analogies that are very, very true. But this other path is really an inner journey. It doesn't happen outside, in the sense that it doesn't necessarily reflect on your environment. Your environment can stay the same while you are changing and evolving within it. You don't need to change your environment to change yourself. You do, however, need to change yourself before you have any hopes at changing your environment. Because you need to be ready for this new environment. With a new environment comes new potential for feeling things. And feeling things is really quite a big deal, because it's real, and it does affect how we go about our day-to-day lives. It affects even the smallest actions that we take. How we feel is really of utmost importance, and has a very, very valuable place in this whole grand scheme of things, because we wouldn't be human without it. If we can't feel, then we don't have any source material. And if we don't have any source material, then we cannot create art. It's as simple as that. It doesn't get much more complicated. Complication is really a trick of the mind. Nothing is complicated when you hone in on exactly what it is you are doing and exactly what it is that is going on while that is happening. And if you're always just paying attention to this happening, in your mind, in the world around you, slowly it ceases to feel like I've got 10% battery left. But life ceases to feel like a treadmill in a sense, and feels much more like a position, where all other positions are available to you, like a grand game of chess where any piece can try to move in any direction. And there's a beautiful law in reality, which is that if you as a piece on this grand game of chess move in a way that's not right for you, you will be subtly informed in one way or another. But when I mean subtly, I really do mean subtly. So if you live a very noisy life, in the sense that you've always got something on your mind, something pulling you to the next thing, you will never discover what lies beneath the surface and what could lead to a more productive reality.